welcome to a Moment of Harmony on our regularly scheduled time of a Saturday. We are somewhat in our 10 o'clock hour. We definitely do. There was a little bit of tardiness today. There have been so many technical issues when it comes to YouTube. So, for those that review our videos and police our videos, hey, we can't upload thumbnails. I want y'all to know that. That's slowing us down. But anywho, we're gonna keep it moving. It's not gonna stop. Might slow it, but it's not gonna stop progress. We are having our moment today. We are doing this. I am so excited and blessed and honored to be a part of your self-care, health-care routine. And I'm grateful for you to be able to join me today on a moment of harmony as we continue to move forward. I just want to move back. I always feel like I'm like right up on y'all. And when you have like a lot of personality, you're a person with a lot of personality. I'm always like cognizant, like don't throw everything at everybody, okay? So I just wanna, you know. All right. So again, welcome. We will be continuously moving this week through our 4 weeks. We're in a 4 week. We haven't been in a 4 week course in a very long. Our courses have been long. The last one was 41 weeks, almost a year. The one before that was 42 when we did the laws of Mayat. We've been in some long courses. This is a 4 week course. It's just a short course of us to just to check in with one another, just some key factors to recall and pull into one another. We are in the moments of motion. We are going 4 weeks. Last week we did fear. This week we're working with forgiveness. We have failure next week, and then we're going to end this course on fog, vision. And we're talking about the quicksands of life. A lot of times right now we're going into the third month of the new year. And this is a time when some of those resolutions or some of those goals, they aren't happening as quick as you want them to. You aren't seeing, you're in a new year with old ideas or last year remnants, and you're starting to get a little bit discouraged. You're starting to feel a little bit like, what is happening here? So I wanted to be certain that we tune into what's happening when we have those quicksand moments of life, when we're just feeling stuck. We've worked so hard to get where we are. We are moving as much as we can, and then something happens to our momentum. Something begins to slow us down. Something begins to detour us, and we don't know, we can't quite put our finger on it. So we are going to do a quick moving into this year. Peace and welcome. Thank you all. Quick moving into this year course on the four, or what I chose to be just four major quicksands of momentum. Please, peace, peace, peace. How you doing? Yes, yes, yes. So, fear, forgiveness, failure, fog, right? We're going into how we can eliminate these things, how we can go against, how we can combat these quicksands, these things that get us stuck and get our momentum back. So we're having these moments of motion. Now, today's episode, hey, Mr. Carter, today's episode is entitled The Flower of Forgiveness, because we are going to be going into forgiveness today. So I'm trying to figure out where we are. Oh, birthday blessings. Happy birthday to King Superior, my oldest nephew, the one who made me a aunt in the first place. Today's his birthday. Listen, if I'm 40, they getting in their 30s. These young men are growing. Okay, these young ladies. What does that make us? Okay. Happy birthday. Much love and much appreciation for all of you guys. I'm trying to think. We're at the end of February. Oh, my grandma had her 80th. My paternal grandmother had her 80th birthday. We'll be celebrating her tomorrow. Happy birthday. Listen, it's in Pisces season. Aqua Gang had a quick in and out. You know how we like to do things. We were in and out. We're in Pisces season. So birthday blessings to all of those upstreamers out there. We love to just celebrate life here. We love to just celebrate who you are. We love to highlight the beauty of everyone. So I hope you all are out there chasing extraordinary, aligning with extraordinary blessings and coming into yourself. Let's keep doing it, okay? All right. The flower of forgiveness. We're going to get into this moment today. I want to say thank you to the chat. The chat is going, and welcome to everyone coming in. We're super, super excited to have you dialogue with us today. The flower of forgiveness. Okay, now the reason I wanted to get into this forgiveness piece, and I'm really going to try to not let this be long, because when we got into fear was long, okay? I'm going to try not to let forgiveness be long, but forgiveness is equally as important. It is equally as intense and is necessary and is methodical of a process as the fear process. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. The flower of forgiveness. So, the reason why we entitled this section or this segment or this episode, The Flower of Forgiveness, is because forgiveness is something that blooms. It's not something that you just go and get. It's not something that you can just give. It is a process. Forgiveness is something that grows. It's something that's tended to. It's something that you give attention to. It requires action, gentle action, just like growing a flower. I think growing a flower outside of tending to a newborn is one of those most gentle processes you can do, but you are growing something profound and extraordinary. So, planting, those with the green thumb and agriculturalists, the flower of forgiveness is an analogy that I'm using today on just how delicate of a process forgiveness is, but also how bountiful it is and how it works on both sides as the offerer and the obtainer of the forgiveness. So, love, 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 right? Okay. The flower of forgiveness. So here's the first part. When it comes to forgiveness, and it comes to forgiveness um, being something we all get stuck in, right? We have to grow into forgiveness being something that is difficult. A lot of times that's coming because there's going to be so many perspective shifts that we're going to attempt today. Okay, so bear with me, stay with me, because I really want us to be able to begin to see the element of forgiveness itself differently, and then be able to implement tools and practicality in how we're going to move through utilizing this power that is forgiveness, because it is a power. So a lot of times we get stuck is because we feel like we use forgiveness for control, or a lack of forgiveness, right? Having resentment, we think it allows us to maintain and obtain control over a situation. We confuse forgiveness for control instead of power. Forgiveness is power, not control. But in holding back forgiveness, in not offering, in not cultivating it, because it's really not something I'm just handing out, in not cultivating, in not developing forgiveness within yourself, you really are not controlling what you think you are controlling. But we do feel that way. We feel like as long as we hold resentment or rage or anger towards something, we're keeping it from happening again. We're showing everybody we're holding things and people and places accountable. We are being the master of our own destiny, because we are saying, like, no, it's up and it's stuck. And it's stuck because I said so. And I want us to be able to completely see how that is a falsity in the divine scheme of things. It is not actually what's happening with you on the spiritual realm. Yes, you may be saying it verbally, you may be enacting it physically, or exuding all of that energy physically, but spiritually that's not what's happening to you. What is happening is that you are getting stuck. It is keeping you from an elevated momentum to move towards the goals and the growth that is waiting for you. I don't want that to happen for any of us anymore. So we're definitely going to be getting into all of that today. Okay? So when it comes to this element of forgiveness, I want us to keep it. So let's go first. Let's go to a more religious reference. So many of you know here I have respect for all spiritual spaces. I don't have to subscribe to them. I don't have to adhere to them to respect them. Respect overflows from me like love. I am full of love and respect, and I do not run out of them because I am that, right? So I have no problem offering love and respect in abundance. And in that, love and abundance and respect come to me easily. All right. So I want everyone to know that, as I have references from everywhere, sometimes religious, sometimes historical, sometimes scientific. My, I am a student of life and I am a scientist of spirituality. My lab is open to everything because I am that I am. I do not fear growth and development, okay? So, um, the lab is open. I'm not saying I'm open. The lab is open. I can explore and experiment because I am secure in the divinity of self. Okay? So, and I'm stating all of that not to just be like, this is who I am, this is who I am, because I want us all to just be able to explore different lanes of languages, ideology, and standpoints of being to see where you fit in it. Where do you fit in there? Okay? So, here's the thing, a more religious reference. I'm trying to think of the Psalm 316. I might be mixing the psalm up, but I do know that there is a in biblical psalm that's like love is patient, love is kind, love keeps no record of wrong, love is not easily angered. Those types of, you guys know where I'm going, right? And one of the things that always stood out to me whenever I would hear that, as a matter of fact, I've only been married once, very long time ago, as a child. You know, I got married at 18. Whew, okay, long time ago. That was a long time ago. And in that, that was that was what was spoken over in our vows. You know, we had to repeat those to one another. And of course, I would study it. I would study it before I would study it throughout, even as a very young bride. I would study, like, what is it that I vowed to do. Way too young to to understand really the depth of what I was. There you go, Corinthians. Thank you, darling. Um, Way too young to understand the whole thing, right? But as I grew up and I got older and I was open, so much more open to exploring all types of doctrines and ideas and just finding truth, and also, you know, with this is spitting out the bones, but just looking at this thing in a more holistic dynamic, you know, is just really researching. And as I was doing that, that that biblical reference, that love is patient, love is kind, so much of it was like, it made sense to me, right? What stood out to me as difficulty, as like, how is this even possible? Which is going to be a major part of our moment today, because it took me so long, so many years of exploration, to get to the grounding that I am in it today. And it was the no record of wrong. Love keeps no record of wrong. And I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Love keeps no record of wrong. You spend forever, you spend lifetime, you spend a time frame in spaces with people, in places with people, and you keep no record of wrong, right? And this is where we get in when we're talking about forgiveness. And the way that I had to understand it, which better helped me understand, is that I became a mom over the, you know, how old is Freedom is going to be 22. Over the past 22 years, I've been a mom. I have, what was the other thing? I'm trying to do his calculation. It threw me off. In my period days, I can't go all them ways. I don't know why I keep trying it. But I became a mom. And there's another thing. I did become a grandmother too, but that's not what I was going after. It'll come to me. Okay. So in this time frame, I realized, like, this keeping no record of wrong. Oh, here's the second thing. I knew it was coming. I also lost two siblings in the physical realm. So I had two siblings, and I'm a young woman, right? Two siblings transition long before eldership, before I was an elder, before they were elders, long before they were elders, right? My baby brother at 19, my big brother at 47. And I realized, again, once they left the physical realm and they now are spiritual beings, I understood more this keep no record of wrong. And we're going to go into that more today. So, becoming a mother, and in all of the community work that I do or have done, just my journey altogether, but definitely becoming a mom, being a mom, and the death of my brothers have been two major pillars in me truly being able to explore this idea, this religious reference of keeping love being something that keeps no record of wrong. So I study love altogether fully. Altogether fully. It is my favorite subject. It is my main mission. It is the point of it all for me. But this specific part I'm pulling out for our Flower of Forgiveness segment today. Okay. No record of wrong. When we get into keeping no record of wrong, when we get into this element, this unconditionalness of forgiveness, we're not talking about, this is where we struggle and stumble, right? We're not talking about forgetting that things happened. We're not talking about being walked over. We're not talking about letting things slide. We're not talking about not holding others accountable. We're not talking about not dealing with hurt or pain or trauma. That's not at all what this no record of wrong means. It is often misconstrued and misinterpreted that way, and therefore we hold on to resentment. We hold on to anger. We hold on to rage. We hold on to the things. I saw this amazing meme that I shared to my sister girl group not too long ago. It said, you don't have to, what does it say? You don't have to keep it to prove that it happened, right? Release, release, forgiveness. You don't have to keep it to prove that it happened. And a lot of times we feel like if we don't keep it, no one else will. No one will remember it happened. No one will cater to the results or the consequences of it. It will happen again. You know, no one will help us. No one will be patient with us if we don't keep this thing that happened to us, these things, these circumstances. So when it comes to no record, it's not saying that it's just like an expungement. It's not saying that it never happened, because no one can ever make anything go away that happened. Existence doesn't work that way, right? It happened. What is being said in the no record of wrong, this fundamental component of forgiveness, is that I'm understanding that forgiveness is not about me controlling the narrative. It's not about me controlling the outcome. It's not about me controlling the consequences. This is about me understanding that I don't need to control what is a power. Forgiveness is a power of freedom, enlightenment, and elevation. By me being able to forgive, to offer forgiveness, I do a justice to a circumstance that would any other way not be done if not for my growth and development. Again, it doesn't mean I let somebody off the hook. I let someone back in my life. I let something happen again. I let certain patterns and behaviors ensue in my life or continue. That is not at all. What it means is that I have the experience, no record of wrong, forgiveness. It means that I have the experience, but I don't hold it. This is the shift I want us to be able to take divinely as we look into all the things in our life. We know our sensitive spots. We know what is holding us angry, what is holding us hostage. We know what is, we see someone and we think of them, we talk about them, a circumstance, a person, an event, and we are discombobulated. We are uneasy. We can't deal with it. It changes our mood. It changes our day. This is holding the wrong against you, right? As spiritual beings elevating. So anything that's anchored in, if you're in quicksand, you feel stuck. You cannot move forward patterns are happening that are not happy, that are not pleasing to you. You put so much work into moving forward, and still here you are, thinking the same, feeling the same, living the same. It's exhausting to you. The last thing you need is an anchor. The last thing in quicksand that you need is an anchor. Release yourself. That's why we use the analogy of flowers for forgiveness, the flower of forgiveness, because it is something that you offer to someone else, but it's something that you have to go cultivate yourself. You have to go and cultivate it, grow it, nurture it, obtain it in order to offer it. It is a gift for you first. It is a gift for you first. You touch the flowers first before you offer them to anyone else. So, understanding that to have something and to hold something are two different things. I had this experience. This did happen to me. I did go through this. This person did say, do, be, try, right? This, and that with me. But it's not something that I hold. I don't let it hold me up. I don't let it hold me back. I don't allow it to hold space in my spirit. That's the difference between having and holding. I have the experience. I've utilized the lesson. I'm growing from the wisdom. I understand better the do's and the don'ts, the lesson, but I don't hold it. If you hold something, you can't use it, right? You can't use it. There's the difference between having a flashlight and cutting the flashlight on, right? I'm holding it so people know I have it. I'm holding it so people know if things go out, I got it. But what about using it? Right? That's not, you don't need, to hold something in order to use it. This is why, we have light switches and things like that. You can still use a light without holding it. Light switch versus the handheld flashlight. As a matter of fact, I'm better off when I just allow myself to use it than to hold it. So to have an experience, but not hold an experience, is the no record of wrong that we're talking about. What if you had to walk around with everything that was done to you and you had to keep it in a folder? Every wrongdoing, every even if it was a mistake, every violation, every betrayal, every trickery, every wrong thing. You would be holding yourself down. You can't fly with that much of a record keeping. You have become a file cabinet. This is what we mean by having it but not holding it. I am not going to be a file cabinet of flaws, of fallacies, of wrongdoings against me. I am going to transmute and transform all of that energy into where I'm going. I would much rather be a what is it called? A thumb drive of information. I would much rather be a thumb drive of execution. Data that works, data that changes, data that transforms things, rather than a file cabinet full of let me tell you what happened to me. And let me tell you why I don't like these people, why I don't do this, why I don't go there, why I no longer. Let me open this cabinet to tell you why I've stopped living, why I'm afraid to pursue my dreams, why I'm afraid to trust and align with others, why I'm afraid to grow and prosper into unknown territory. That is all that is being said from the perspective of the file cabinet. As opposed to, let me show you how I've computed this data in order to expand the horizons and trajectory and possibilities of tomorrow. Two different perspectives. Have it, hold it. No record of wrong. So again, when it comes to having resentment, when it comes to us just being in this place of forgiveness for ourselves, the forgiveness place that we need to be in initially, and the forgiveness space that we go into others. I want us to keep in mind too, a lot of times we'll say this, we'll say, I'm so mad, right? I don't rock with this person. I don't do this thing. I'm so angry. I'm so hurt. It broke me. It destroyed me. First off, we're still here. My mom says this thing. I have two deceased brothers. And anytime my mom, you ask my mom how she's doing, she says, I'm still here. That's what she says. She doesn't say I'm good. She doesn't say I'm fine. She doesn't say I'm bad. She doesn't say I'm sad. She says I'm still here, which is so powerful in itself. Because this is what I'm talking about with our forgiveness today, the releasing of resentment, the releasing of rage and weighted energy. When you are trying to heal, when you are trying to elevate more than survive, your aim is thriving, your aim is life, your aim is liberation. You cannot do that and say that you were broken and destroyed in another era of your life, but yet I'm still going to rise to. Again, I'm not saying that things don't hurt us. They aren't devastating. They aren't gouging. They don't completely um, drain you. What I'm saying is that we are that of the Phoenix energy, human divine cohesiveness. That is the immaculate, incredible essence of who we are. We are a compound collaboration of the extraordinary beauty of humanity and the infinite power of spirituality. And that is us. We are braided. That is what we make up, if we so choose to enact those gifts inside of self, right? So a lot of times we'll say, "Oh, yeah, I don't do this. I don't mess with my family. I don't mess." You hear women say, "I don't mess with women." I've even listen. I've known dudes that don't trust another man for nothing. I mean, has don't have friends, don't hang out, don't make phone calls to other men. Just do not trust men. Think everybody is out to get them. Listen, you are holding things that are holding you back, holding you inside, holding you down, holding you away. And this is what I want us to be able to go into when it comes to obtaining those tools, right? The practicality piece is the healing of the centeredness of yourself. I want you to know that resentment is grief. For everyone that feels like it's okay to be holding something against somebody, to be holding on to a grudge, um, to walk around with the matches in your pocket to burn bridges, okay? Because here's another trick. If you elevate, you don't ever have to worry about burning a bridge. You can't reach me anyhow, okay, without growth and development. You can't get here without being into a certain place. I don't have to burn one thing, I just have to grow. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is people that saying like, nope, I have a right to hold on to these feelings. I have a right to be mean, angry, bitter, right? Rageful. When I go around and I act this certain way, I have this right. Resentment is grief. Resentment is the grief of resentment is the grief of the reality you desired. It is the grief of the reality that you desired over the truth that will allow you to grow. Resentment is the grieving of the reality you desired. I'm sad because I believed that this is what I was a part of. I'm sad because I believed that I should be safe at home. I'm sad because I had a mindset of the way I think things should have been. When I went into the workforce, when I got married, when I became a parent, what have you. I had a reality in mind, a vision. And when I was not met with that reality, When I saw that people weren't always good, they weren't always reciprocal, they weren't always appreciative, I grieved the reality that I desired. I lost the reality that I desired, that I felt I deserved. Resentment is grieving a reality you desire. Do know that if you are in that place and you feel comfortably so, you feel justifiably so. No, I don't do this. I don't rock with this. I don't mess with that. Right? And you are in that space, do know that you are in a space of grief, a very heavy, weighted, low vibrational energy, if not actualized as intended. That key point, right? Because we are intended to use grief for elevation, for appreciation of life, and for the understanding of spirit. Mommy Mercy, I'm sorry. Y'all wouldn't believe how many times I announce that I'm going live before I go live. Okay. So, resentment is a grieving of the reality and not accepting. Whew, this is the part. And not accepting the truth that will allow me to grow. Your experiences never came to destroy you. They never came to deplete you. They never came to, what is it, bury you. Your experiences have come here to grow you, to hold you in a space like a plant in the ground, to be watered, to be have sunlight, light and water, in order to grow. But if you were buried, we used this before, overplanted, then you are, it is no, what is it, no shock that you are stuck. It is no shock that you are feeling like, I am given this all that I have and I cannot make it out of this season of my life. I'm not making the footage, the gains that I feel like I deserve right now. And I'm going to say there are four major footholds when it comes to momentum. And they are fear, forgiveness, failure, and fog. There are four major footholds, which, if not all, or a majority, are holding you in a space that is not allowing you to have momentum in your life. That is causing you to say, I did all the right things. I wrote things out. I got accountability partners. I went to the subscribe to, I got a membership with the gym. I joined this reading club. I started running with my friends. I'm doing these things, and spiritually, sometimes we don't even say spiritually. Sometimes we just leave it at the tangible. And still I have to live here, or still I'm with this person, or still I work at this place. Still I'm working through, you're working through some type of illness or diagnosis. And you're saying still you're stuck. Even though you're trying your best. And I'm saying because you're leaving it in a tangible space, spiritually, you have a foothold. And that is why we are going through these 4 weeks of momentum, these moments of motion. Because I want us to be able to look at them so that we go somewhere even further in this year, somewhere even further within yourself, a brand new destination of being. We said in our manifestation moments, it was the last thing last year for a lot of things. So yes, Harmony, you said last year. Okay, it was the last year, but now what? You're right. I let go of certain habits. I let go of certain people. I moved away from certain energies. And I'm still here. It was the last year of dealing with that. But now, where am I going? Now it is time to invest in your momentum. Now it is time to say, I've rid myself of the baggage. And now I prepare myself for the journey towards elevation, the journey towards joy, adventure, next chapterness. Let's go towards it. Let's take that route, okay? So, forgiveness. We're going to get out of this first one and go ahead into the second one. We understand that resentment is grief. Resentment is simply grief. When we say, oh, I can't forgive, I won't forgive, I don't forgive, I don't. Forgiveness is grief. It is grieving the reality you desired, and you have it in you to be able to elevate towards the truth that you were destined for. There is a truth in which you have to learn. Peace, beloved. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. So, this last part, and we're going to get into our next two so we can get ready to close out because look at the time already. Okay? So, let it go. This is what I want us to get into when we get into no record of wrong. We're going to close out this no record of wrong piece, right? Hi, hi, hi. Let it go. I will let it go. I will let you go. I will let it grow. I will let it go. I will let you go. I will let it grow. This is the no record of wrong I want us to be able to go within self for when it comes to, I want to release these burdens, these anchors. And there's a lot of us saying like, girl, I'm not sitting up here with a lot of baggage. I don't have all that on me. But let me tell you what that looks like from a lens that a lot of people aren't necessarily sitting with, right? I love a lot of woke folk. I was groomed in the conscious community, right? In the consciousness of revolutionary, of revolution. I say that. The consciousness of revolution. I grew up there, right? And what I will say is that when injustice is done, when oppressions and sinisterness has become a norm, it has become a regular act of daily life, you can be caught up in rage and resentment in ways you are not keeping count of. Okay? You can very much not intentionally mean to be bitter, to be angry, to be rageful, and see what is happening and feel empathetically and be consciously aware and be able to stop and say, what is the toll that this takes on me if I do not process the experiences appropriately? I have watched so many that do not process our experiences. This is why I say what I've learned on my journey, I will let it go. I will let you go, and I will let it grow. I am not saying that I will accept, I will, I will adhere, I will co-sign, right? I will comply. What I am saying is simply, I will understand the experience enough to transform it into a result that works for me and mine. This is forgiveness. This is forgiveness. This is, as a spiritual scientist, this is the formula of forgiveness. I will understand the offense enough so that I can transform it into a process that elevates, that releases me. And what I'm saying is, it's not that I see so many of us, right? We get so, and I'm not big on talking about us on platforms, right? I believe we have in-house conversation. But I'm going to vaguely go into this little piece, right? There's a lot of us that's just like, I am, I hate, I'm angry, I don't we're picking apart, we're critiquing, we're on edge about the reality of our situation. And I'm not saying we should be numb or complacent. What I am saying is that we should be transformative and divine. We can see without becoming, we can know without forgetting. Okay? Meaning that we can understand what, when I really think about our condition, right? And right now I'm talking culturally. I do not, again, condone it. I don't rock with it at all. I don't think it's cool. I am always going to continuously do my work towards the freedoms of those who have a divine right to it, right? But what I am saying is, I'm not going to. I have to be able to use it in a way. My Walimu, shout out to Baba Imhotep and PLM, right? Um, he had this saying, and I always say my favorite saying, but he had a lot of sayings. I had a master teacher, okay? Master teacher. Boy, was I blessed, okay? Master teacher. People travel to learn from someone I had direct access to my entire adolescence, who invested and poured in me. Always grateful, right? He used to have this saying that was the immovable mover. The immovable mover. This was another one of his lessons I took to heart. Be an immovable mover, meaning that you are to go through this life and create change and transformation without being moved off your square, without being taken off your focus, without being pulled off your point. Michelle Williams, she has a song, Change the World, Don't Let the World Change You. I say that to my children every time they leave the house. Change the world, don't let the world change you. The immovable mover. And this is what I mean when I say, I will let it go. I will let you go. I will let it grow. Because I cannot get caught up in the confusion of life work when I am focusing on divine energy. My focus should be on that. And what I mean is, life works things out. Life and love are teachers. And so, as life is teaching, as love is teaching, I can't get in the way of all that. I have divine focus at hand, the point of my existence. So, when we start to get into places, okay, like I said, I love a lot of woke folk. Love them. I love them, okay? But there are times when it's like, have you studied this process? You getting shocked? You getting bitter? You saying anything publicly? You behaving any type of way irrationally? You going off the chain? My thing is, have we not studied? The reason I'm not losing it is not because it's not bad. It's because I've understood it enough to transform it. I look at it and I say, no, I don't love it. I don't condone it. I don't adhere. I resist, trust. But I understand. When we talk about recessiveness and supremacy, I see what you're doing there. I see why the efforts are being taken that are being taken. I see why they're going the route that they're going route. Does it need to happen? But this is what I understand about release. Discombobulation is just as lethal as indoctrination. If you can disorient me, if you can get me so caught up in my emotions that I don't have time for resolve, I don't have time for plan and action. I'm acting off of anger. I'm acting off of rage. I'm acting off of exhaustion. I cannot then strategize. I cannot then implement. I cannot then elevate. And so this is why I say forgiveness is a power. This is not, you're controlling nothing. You feel like it because you can say who you do and don't talk to, what you will and won't watch, what you do and don't rock with. But I promise you, spiritually, you are anchored into an energy that is low and heavy. And that's why I get to the point where I say before. I'm not saying we have to, things go back to normal. We just up in here kikiing and no. I come in peace. Peace be unto you. Have a great day. I don't have the space to hold your betrayal. I don't have the time to hold your inadequacies, your maliciousness. Understanding means that I know what I'm dealing with, and I can offer peace, and I can regulate access. This is how we forgive. I can offer peace, and I will regulate access. But trust and believe. Ain't gonna be no hate and retaliation and revenge and this and that. I'm talking more personal, y'all. Okay, we ain't talking revolutionary right now. I'm talking more personal level forgiveness. I'm talking amongst each other. Okay? I'm saying it's no up and it's stuck when it comes to my divinity. I'm not getting stuck there with you. I'm not getting stuck in that situation. I'm not getting stuck in the past. It's no up and it's stuck. It's just up, up, and away for me, right? So I offer peace. I regulate access, forgiveness. Um, I have no problem letting it go. I'm not holding it. It doesn't belong. It makes me ugly. It makes me old. Makes me tired. It drains me. I have no room for it here. The hate, the rage, the resentment, the anger. I don't have space for it. I will let it go. I will let you go. And I will let it grow. I will let you grow into your next lesson. I will let you grow into your next phase of beingness. I allow myself to grow into my next blessing. Let it go. Let them go. Let it grow. I'm not even just talking about a friendship, a romance, a child. I'm talking your parents, your teachers, your preachers, the system. Let it go. Let them go. Let it grow. Meaning life will do what it needs to do as long as you are in alignment. Now, I'm not saying you walk away from experiences without the ability to reconcile or restore self. You have to do that. Restore order into your communities, into your surroundings. We have to do that's my op. We must bring balance. But there is no balance happening if I'm beefing with you. There's no balance. That's called revenge. That's revenge. If I'm beefing with you and I'm trying to bring some things back in order, trust and believe I'm bringing some pettiness back. But if I release and I learn and I transform, once I restore, I am bringing balance. I am bringing right and might. And it's not coming from a place of disorientation. It is coming from a space of growth, development, and divinity, and therefore it will be aligned accordingly. This is why. Why are things not coming to me? What am I blocking? Why are things? So then let's get into this next because we got to get out of here. Look at the time, okay? We have to get out of here. So keep in mind, you understand it. I understand it enough. I don't condone it. I don't appreciate it, but I have researched this situation. And I know why, when, how, and who this thing has gone down the way that it has. And therefore, because I studied it, I wasn't stunted by it. I studied it. I was able to transform it in the divine power that I exude. And I was able to turn this situation into a release for me, into empowerment for me, into growth for me, and everything connected to me. So, no record of wrong. This is some divine level stuff, y'all. No record of wrong. And it just means that I have the experience, but I'm not holding it. I offer peace and I regulate access. No, we won't be what we once were, but peace and blessings to you. You don't have to worry about me putting no negative energy because I don't have space to hold it. Do you? Be great. Live long and prosper on to growth and development, on to changing and healing the world. Have things to do. You have things to do. You came here with a mission and a purpose, and do not stick it with that person that didn't consider that child in you, the person that didn't consider the human in you, the person that didn't consider the gift and the blessing in you, the circumstance that didn't honor the space of you. You have real things to do. So go on, let it go, let them go, let it grow. Just go and let it grow. Soon as you give it space to, that's exactly what it's going to do. So now, quickly, when it comes to the flowers of forgiveness, we are gathering the flowers, forgiveness of self. That's the first part of offering forgiveness. We have to go get the flowers. We're gathering the flowers because that is the forgiveness of self. That is me forgiving myself for not always knowing all of the answers. That is me forgiving myself for having to learn lessons sometimes the hard way. That is me forgiving myself for not always having the courage to stand up, fight back, um, set boundaries. Forgiveness of self. That's really what you're holding against the other person. That's really what you're holding against the other energy. You are mad because you feel stupid. You feel small. You feel humiliated. You feel taken advantage of. You believed it. You trusted it. You were a part of it. And a great part of your resentment is anger towards you. I should have known better. I should have done something different. I should have known. I should have listened. We can't give flowers to anybody without having to go into a garden of self. Now, I'm not talking about going to the grocery store. In this analogy, you got to grow your flowers in a garden, okay, that you're giving to someone. So we have to go into the garden and we have to grow a garden. So flowers, if we're growing something, this is something we put time and energy into. We're taking valuable parts of ourselves. Power of forgiveness. It's not control. This is power. When we talk about selflessness, when we're talking about faith, in order to give you something out of my garden, I have to have faith that more will grow, that I have enough to offer. Faith, power. So I have to go into the garden and I have to grow these flowers. Forgiveness is a flower. I have to nurture. This means I have to nurture myself. I have to heal myself. I have to listen to myself. Ooh, one of my favorite parts of 40 is loving her like she should have been loved all along. And literally learning to love Harmony soft, loving her soft, unapologetically, like my aunt loves to say, beautifully and completely. This is nurturing the flowers. I'm giving flowers that I have to grow. Forgiveness. This is why this is work. This is why this is an inside job. I am giving flowers that I must first have to grow. This is why when I raise my children, I don't make them say sorry. I tell them, you go think about what you did, and when you understood what you did and you're ready to apologize, you let me know. Now, normally they do that quickly because they're in timeout. But I always let them know this is something you have to come to within yourself. Do you really feel some type of way about what you did to your sibling? Do you really feel some type of way about what you said to me? But you don't have to go ask for forgiveness. And no one has to give you forgiveness because I said, tell your sister you're sorry. Tell your brother you. I may make them hug. Now that I will do. Hug each other till you get it worked out, okay? But that's fostering, right? So forgiveness of self is the gathering of your flowers that you're before you. You cannot offer somebody a flower you did not grow and gather. So go grow yourself, gather yourself in order to offer the forgiveness for for someone else. See, if you've done something to me, bless you, okay? Because you've come into a space of work. I've done so much work. I'm doing so much work. It won't take me so much. I got flowers built up. I am growing flowers daily. So therefore, I have a flower or two to offer you. You can't come into my garden because it's sacred and it's reserved and for elite access. But I do not mind offering flowers from my garden. I do it easily. I love easily. Okay? Now, this really quickly because we run it. Listen, when it comes to, I just want to go into that point really quickly. Why I say, okay, we'll go into it in the next point. Don't worry about it. We'll go into that. Let me finish up this one. Forgiveness is gathering of the flowers. It starts with self. Self-forgiveness is first. Give yourself, go gather the flowers first. Forgive yourself. You are a child. Forgive yourself. You were lost. Forgive yourself. You were confused. You were under the influence. You were under the strain. You were uninformed. You have to forgive yourself first. The flowers touch you before they leave your home. You have to go into your own garden to get there. So now that I've gathered my garden, I've gathered my flowers in my garden, I now want to go and offer them forgiveness to others. I want to offer my flowers to those who have betrayed me, disappointed me, belittled me, defamed me, humiliated me. I want to lie to me, deceit, pain, torture, suffering, big stuff, right? Because we felt real good about the forgiveness part, right? Big stuff. This is not small stuff. And again, I'm not saying as I offer you these flowers, do it again. As I offer you these flowers, just know I'm not going to hold it against you. Because I am not going to hold it against you. But I'm not going to hold up the healing, is what I'm saying. I'm offering you these flowers because I'm not going to hold up the healing. Again, I'm still regulating access. You will get only a hotep and a peace, beloved, from me. But we will not be, the access will be great regulated because I understand. Not because I hate you, not because I'm mad at you, not because I resent you, but because I understand. I've studied the circumstance rather than being stuck in it. I understand that you are lost. I understand that you are broken. I understand that you are hurt. I understand that you are developing. I understand that you're in another part of your process. I understand. And therefore, I will offer forgiveness. It costs me nothing from a place of abundance. When I grow flowers daily, this bouquet costs me nothing, but releases me into everything. I don't have this weed growing in my garden. Cut it, I let it go, I let you go, I let it grow. Cut that weed, quit, right? Okay, the forgiveness of others. That was for the forgiveness of self. We're going to get into this last part, we're getting up out of here. The forgiveness of others. This is probably one of my favorite parts. I don't know, that no record of wrong is a really big part for me too, but this is probably one of my favorite parts of this moment, right? And I'm glad it's going to be my close out. This forgiveness of others, this offering of flowers. Another religious reference. I always let you guys know all spaces, right? Respect. I'm just going to use this reference. I know that a lot of people are familiar with some of these references, right? There's a biblical reference that says, forgive them for they know not what they do. Forgive them for they know not what they do. That was always one that in my studies that was really big too. Forgive them for they know not what they do. And we quick to be like, nope, you're a grown man, you're a grown woman, you know what you did, you know better, you knew exactly. And we think that because someone was maliciously intentional, that they were deceptive, or that they were destructive, that they know exactly what they were doing. And I want us to look at it from this perspective, right? Everyone doesn't know what you think that they know. So, do people know right from wrong? Objectively. Objectively. We live in a place, we live in a time, we live in a structure that is so, I always say this, anti-moralistic, anti-spiritual. The things that you are told are not reinforced in reality on an operational level. So you have a great deal of underdevelopment. We don't have rites of passages as frequently or as regularly as open to all walks as necessary. Um, and again, we aren't always firm in the spiritual fortitude necessary for the type of elevation and balance that can happen from divine energy. Everybody is so stuck in the physical. We feel like reprimand and punishment is like incarceration. We're in a physical mind and a structural mind of reform. And that is a joke, right? And so we think people are not doing things because they know right from wrong, when in essence we are in a society that really just it does incentive or what is the other one? Intimidation. We are all developed in either incentive or intimidation based decisions. So either I go to work for money or I don't do bad things so you don't go to jail. That's it. A lot of people are not spiritually led, which is where true transformation it comes from. I'm not saying all. I'm saying we don't live in a society that reinforces or supports divine operation, regulation, structure. And therefore, what we think people should know, the right thing or the wrong thing, is not something that is developed in the structure of daily life. Again, incentive based, I need a reason to be good or do something good or be right or be productive or show up or be kind. I want something, so I'm going to do that. Or intimidation based. If you don't, and that's just the powers that be. That is the lack of man, because true power is spiritual. So if I need to control, these are methods of control. If I want power and elevation, true elevation, I don't need to control, I need to allow, right? Remember, we keep saying that. I don't need to control, I need to allow. So we know that this false supremacy, right? This recessiveness is really all centered around control. Where divine true power is centered around flow and allowance. Not saying no holds barred, all things go, but what I'm saying is that you are fundamentally, internally being developed, and therefore I don't need to regulate that. You are allowing your spirit to do as it should, happen as it should, grow as it was intended. But since you are having capitalistic control, what is it called? The lack of sovereignty, right? Colonialism, all types of, listen, I ain't gonna get into all the isms, right? We are saying that in order to teach people how to be, I'm talking from kindergarten, pre-K. If you do good, I'll give you a sticker. You'll get more time to play. And if you don't do good, I'll sit you in a corner. I will take away your privileges. This is governance. This isn't spiritual alignment, right? This isn't, you are expected to do good. You are good. I see good coming from you. Look at what happens when you do good, right? Okay. I'm not going to go into the children's course of things, okay? But just, it starts early. This is how we're groomed. So when we think people know better and should know better, understand that where is better being demonstrated? Is everybody going to the same church? Is everybody reading out of some type or going to any type of spiritual institution together? Is everybody reading out of some spiritual book together? Is everybody under some similar alignment of spiritual source, spirit space? What is one thing that we all do have in common, especially in this nation, is governance, law. Law is ruling the way of the land. The way of the land does not constitute mature growth, long lasting, deep, and it doesn't stimulate the innate. There's an innate growth that happens with your alignment, right? And your chakra energy, your kundalini vibration. There's an innate. That's why when we get around our girls, or you get around your friends, you get around family, you feel like you come up for air because you have begun to innately align. We are human beings. We were created to learn from one another. Right and wrong was never intended to be imposed the way that it is, and it definitely wasn't intended to be tailored around consumerism, capital gain. But that's what it is. Because when we get into right and wrong, right, we can get into this work structure. We can get into this 40-hour work week. We can get into this school structure. We can get into right and wrong. That's not the point of our development in this societal structure. It's not based on right and wrong. So why do we think people understand right and wrong? Why are we this so many years into the heinous crimes of humanity, against humanity, that we are still confused that what people should know based on what they do know? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. There are people that I know don't understand me. I know they can't truly and completely um, embrace, wrap their mind around where I'm coming from and what I came for. Forgive them. Forgive them for criticizing or poking fun or attempting to manipulate. They don't know. That is not an excuse to let people in, but it is a good reason to regulate access or for peace. Okay, now we're going over a little bit. I want to give this analogy really quickly about people not knowing, that we feel like, oh no, they know. They know what they're doing. Watch this. There are a lot of people who say they know love, my favorite subject in the world, right? Know love. Study love is the whole reason I'm here, right? Love is an omnipotent force, like air. It's powerful. It is all omnipresent. Love is God. God is love, right? Love is an omnipotent force. Yet and still, even though we hear that God is love, love is light, love is power, even though we hear that and we feel that, I mean, you've been in love, most of us, right? You feel it, you know it to be true, unexplainable love, unexplainable, the way we love our children, the way we love people, each other, I mean, euphoric, a euphoric space that even you can't replicate outside of its initial of it, if I can get my words. See how it makes me feel? It's an unexplainable energy that you can't replicate out external to its intentional or original form. You cannot fake love. You can't just go make love happen. It is a divine, omnipotent force that just grows and illuminates and defines and encompasses, encapsulates, incubates. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So love is this omnipotent force, like breathing, right? And when we understand it like that, we would think that we would work very hard on understanding it completely, and that we would offer it freely, and that we would look for it in all spaces. When we are faced with a problem or issue, we would say, how do I fill this space with love? Where do I find the love lesson in this? Love is the whole reason you're here. You are here to understand love. Londrell says, love, life is a love story. Use life is a love story. It's all about love. You are here to learn how to have it, how to be it, how to show it unconditionally, unapologetically, divinely, in everything. In the boardroom, how should love show up? In the boardroom, it comes as kindness, it comes as consideration, it comes. So when we think about air or breathing, we think about, like they say, put your mask on first. You do have to love self, but the point is for me to put a mask on me and a mask on you. When I come into a space that doesn't have enough love, it's like a room without enough air. Let's bring more air into here. You'll only all be better for it, right? But in this place that teaches stinginess and crabs in the barrel and backbiting, and because it's capital, the have and the have-nots can't appropriately learn and receive and explore love to its maximum capacity. If we want you to believe that capital is God, I can't let you love appropriately. You will learn that love is God, right? Okay, another story, another time, right? I'm running over. So here's the thing. When it comes to love, we would think that we got it. But there are a lot of people where you say, you didn't love me, right? Or they don't love me, or this isn't love, right? And we want to hold that against somebody. We want to be rageful and resentful. I gave you love, you didn't give me love. And what people believe to be love is what they gave you. This is the forgive them for they know not, right? People believe that provision is love. I've seen parents all the time. I love my kids. My children have every shoe. They have brand new book bags. They have every coat. They got a Nike tech, da 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 da. And you're like, well, where's the love part? There are people that believe that provision is love. There are people that believe that patience is love. Oh, I love them because I stood by them and I stayed no matter what, and I was always there, and it's love. So they think patience is love. There are people that believe that presence is love. No, I didn't really provide. I couldn't always do. I wasn't always right, but I was there. Right? You have parents that do that, right? They may have some type of vice, right? And they'll say, but at least I was there. And they think that's love. And you are sitting there saying, you never loved me. And the whole time they're thinking, I did. I did. I bought your school supplies, or I answered your phone calls, or I came when you called. I was there when you were in a hard time. And provision, patience, presence, and a slew of other things are tools of love. They're tools of love. They are not love in and of themselves. But this is what we do. We will hold that against someone that they use a tool of love and mistake it for love. Here is the thing. We'll do that with ourselves. Yes, I work at a good job. I save money. I work out. And we will say, so I love myself. But you allow people to walk all over you. You allow people to disrespect you. You don't have strong or healthy boundaries. You don't spend good time with yourself. You're not even comfortable being alone. You are using tools of love, like self-care, a tool of love. It is not love. Using a tool of love as love is like working on a car and calling the wrench the car. Yep, I have a car because I have a wrench. I got a jack. I have a pump. Whatever tools they use, mechanics. I'm not a mechanic. Far from it. Okay? Whatever tools mechanics use to call the tool the car. I've been working on this car all day. I got this wrench. So I have a car. No, you use this tool to work on the car. You use this tool to make the car work. You don't have a car. To use a tool of love and confuse it as love is a common, these are common misplacements of the power of love. And you are so quick to say what somebody knows and doesn't know, what they should and shouldn't have done, how they should and shouldn't be. Now, if you know, do better. And it doesn't mean you have to be in a space of suffering or damage because someone doesn't know. But what it also doesn't mean is that you have to hold it. What someone didn't know, what someone wasn't aware, because when you know better, you do better. You got a lot. Listen, I told you I love a lot of woke folk. I come from a large community, and there's a lot of people who say a lot of things. They read a lot of good books. They watch great documentaries, get some good one-liners. You know what I'm saying? They know a lot of things. But there is nothing anyone can say louder than their action. It lets you know they didn't know. They don't know who you are, truly. They don't know how to really. They don't know. Not to say people can't run, not to say we don't grow. They're in another season of development that you are not in. Let them go. Let it go. Let it grow. Forgiveness is offering the flowers that you grew, your abundance, to someone. Resentment is the grief of a reality. Resentment is the grief of a reality that you desired instead of acceptance of the truth that will help you grow. Okay? And being able to forgive. Forgiveness is offering. Forgiveness is the abundance. Forgiveness is just offering the abundance that you've cultivated. Forgiveness is offering the abundance. Oh, I'm not going to forgive them because I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't need that. I don't have to give you my last name. I don't have to give you my firstborn. I just have to offer you an overflow of the beauty I already have. And sometimes that just looks like peace. Peace. Peace unto you. As I grow, as I go. Okay? So don't hold it. You can have an experience without holding it. It holds you down, holds you back. When in quicksand, lighten up. Lighten up, beloved. When stuck, when heavy, lighten up. Lighten up. I promise you, that's what needs to happen for the momentum to move forward. This has been a longer moment of harmony. I tried to warn y'all a little bit in the beginning, but here's the thing. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me for another moment of harmony. Join me next week, same time, same place, for what are we getting into? Failure. So we did fear. Today we did forgiveness. Next week we will go into the foothold that is failure. Whew. Child, when we get done with this session, we're going to be ready to move. Okay, we're going to have some momentum about us. So I love you all so much. Go on. Take really good care of yourself. Really good care of yourself. Do some good things for you. Okay? And then go on out your way and take really, really good care of someone else. I love you all so much. This has been another moment of harmony, and I will see you next week for yet another moment of harmony. Give from your abundance, beloved. Keep on giving.